One of the best smartphone gimbals out there just got better. A massive firmware update for the OM6 brings in a bunch of improvements, and DJI have just dropped a new color option and a lower price. So let's inspect. Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, nice to meet you here. I'm Michael and this is DJI OM6, the Osmo Mobile 6. One of the very few smartphone gimbals that I can recommend to people without any hesitation because of the excellent hardware and the very decent software integration with iOS and Android both, well, with some remarks about the latter one. It's been almost 12 months after the initial release of the OM6 and now there's a new color arriving and a massive firmware update, which is a good opportunity to recap what has been happening throughout the last months, how it actually performs, and to help you to figure out whether the new price tag is worth it or not. If you care about the price, and you should, there's some good news. Instead of following the trend and going up, DJI have decided to cut it down to $149. With a remote microphone option that I don't currently have, it might cost $478, which is quite a tempting deal, especially knowing that the DJI mic can be used for practically anything that has a 3.5mm microphone input. There are many good competitors already, with the most remarkable being the Insta360 Flow. When choosing the right one for you, think not only about the price, but also evaluate the build quality and the features that are a priority to you. In this case, I'm unboxing the Platinum Grey edition. It is slightly lighter, and I'm gonna admit that it feels good, but the packs for some of the older generation have been even more exciting than that. Quite compact, undeniably, and besides the main body, a tripod and the popular magnetic clamp. While it never happened to me, I think the clamp is something you can easily lose, and a spare one is gonna cost you around $20, so be careful. This body here looks as lightweight and simple as it can get. It's an evolution to the already super reliable older generation Osmo Mobile 5. The specifications also sound quite decent. 3 axes of stabilization, supported smartphone weight is up to 290 grams, wide compatibility for smartphones which works with most sizes and cases, up to 6-hour operation time, good ranges for panning, tilting and rolling, built-in extension rod, and very easy to use controls. Plus, an advanced smartphone app, of course. Behind all of these numbers, and in terms of hardware, this is the OM6 in folded condition. In order to unfold, it takes only a few seconds. You put the magnetic clamp and you wait for the gimbal to level itself, then you can switch to horizontal mode and you're good to go. I think what really makes the OM6 series stand out is the very solid software support and integration to the smartphones, especially with iPhones. There are certain remarks about Android phones, but overall performance is good, especially with high-end models, especially when you want to apply some tracking. Now, the angles of operation are something that a lot of people discuss. For example, over here, if we switch to pan follow mode, I'm going to show you that the tilt angle is quite limited. Not as limited as with Insta360 Flow, and I mention it because it's one of the popular rivals, but if you want to overcome this limitation, the extension rod can kind of make it up to this inability. So, what is left to be done? Of course, we want to make a walkthrough with the controls, show you some tips and tricks for the smartphone app, and of course review some more footage. Among the big changes with the 6th generation of DJI's most popular smartphone gimbal is the way you control it. Personally, I'm quite a fan of this revamp because it makes perfect sense and it's quite easy to remember. To power on the gimbal, that's the right button. I have to sometimes look for it, and it's not that easily accessible, but if we put aside this slight inconvenience, it's good that you cannot easily shut it off while you actually use it. To switch between the modes, you have to apply a single press of this button, which will cycle you through the pan follow, the pan tilt follow, the POV, and the sort of inception mode. If you wonder where the all lock mode is, just press and hold the trigger. If you quickly press it twice, it's gonna recenter. There also is a shutter button. You actually get trained about all of that as soon as you open the app and start linking it to your phone via Bluetooth. Shoutouts to the wheel on the side. You can use it to zoom in or out or to play around with the focus, with the zoom function being particularly helpful, especially if your smartphone has a good telephoto camera. And the manual focus is something that you can smoothly fine-tune, kind of impossible to replicate it just using the smartphone. If you are concerned about stabilization algorithms and such, you shouldn't be. DJI is right now the best brand that you can think of when it comes to gimbals, so they definitely have integrated some of their huge experience with professional stabilizers into this basic one. The extension rod is fantastic for low-angle shots. You have an expandable monopod and stabilizer into one single unit, and that's super helpful even for my way of using cameras, especially when filming bikes and such. But there are certain remarks to note about Android smartphones. The current Galaxy S23 line works fine with the smartphone app, but not all the camera features are present. I can't record in HDR10 mode, 24 frames per second modes are missing, and there is no 8K recording either. I really hope to see it arriving with the new version of the app and the firmware, but I guess we have to wait for some more time. The app functions, on the other hand, are brilliant. New version of the tracking algorithm. It can now resume tracking after losing the subject for a while, and even automatic zoom can be applied, plus the gesture controls that are traditionally available. Should you need some fresh ideas about what and how to film, the library that DJI provides is huge, but that's not all of it. Download the Lightcut app, something that DJI have been developing for a while and is now used with most of their consumer cameras, including Osmo Action and the Pocket series. It has its basic integration in the Mimo app, but can act as a totally standalone video editor, among the best and easiest to use out there right now. The experience with iPhones may be even smoother than that, because DJI have a lot less models to deal with, and we know that iOS software development is much more predictable and structured as opposed to Google's ecosystem. Concerning the drawbacks, no hardshell case included, the folding, which requires getting used to it, the angle limitations that we talked about, and the battery, which could have been a tad bigger in order to act as a power bank more effectively. To make a meaningful summary of all that, if we think about the software, especially the smartphone app integration, brilliant. If we think about the hardware, functional, well-built, stable. But if we just think of that as a pure smartphone gimbal without the extra software features, maybe some people would be able to point to more capable devices, especially when it comes to angles of operation. But I do believe DJI's primarily are targeting this at content creators, especially people who want to go outside, do the filming, quickly edit and post-process everything, and publish over social media. Probably the perfect tool for Instagrammers and TikTokers, because they can just put their smartphone, count on the AI controls and the tracking, and do whatever they need to do within almost no time. So that's my take on the DJI OM6 almost 12 months after its release, and pretty nice to see that DJI continue to maintain firmware updates and have supplied this new, in my opinion, better looking and slightly lighter edition of the device. In case you have questions or you want to share your opinion about the OM6, the comment section below the video is the right place to do it. In case you want to support me or buy this particular device, well, not this particular one, but the series, you can use the link posted in the video description area. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Hope to see you in the next one, so don't forget to subscribe. And I, Michael, wish you a fantastic day. Bye.